In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit, one God, Amen. Christos Anesti, Alithos Anesti. Welcome everyone to today's youth sermon and family sermon as well. There are two brief topics that I wanted to touch base with you all today. The first is, a year ago today was the funeral service of a very special elder in Greece by the name of Elder, or Geronda, as we say in Greek, Emilianos. He was the abbot, the elder, the Geronda of the monastery of Simonos Petras on Manathos. Before he was the abbot there, he lived, he was a monastic at Meteora, where hundreds and hundreds of people would flock to him, in particular young adults, teenagers, young adults, both men and women would flock to him and would seek for his counsel. When it got too noisy in Meteora, in other words, when there were so many people that were bombarding him with different questions and whatnot, he ended up taking his monastics and those who were interested in the monastic life. They went to reside on Manathos, in that peninsula close to Thessaloniki. And then the women who were monastically inclined to that way of life as well, who were very spiritually inclined, he built a monastery for them in the city of Ormilia, which I believe it's the distance between Thessaloniki and Manathos. It's somewhere close to there, maybe about an hour away. Anywho, he's a beautiful elder with many profound words to speak to our contemporary generation. For those who are older than me or younger, he speaks very well to those people in particular. And there are a couple of books of his that you can purchase online. The first one is The Way of the Spirit. It's a beautiful book on and expands on an array of topics, marriage included. Another book called Psalms and the Life of Faith, a beautiful, beautiful book where Geronda expounds. He takes, I believe, 6 or 7 different psalms and then writes his own commentary on them. In particular, one of the psalms that's very powerful is his, I believe it's Psalm 8 or 12, one of those early ones, and where he addresses the reality of suffering and how to understand suffering from a Christian perspective. And the last book I just wanted to share briefly with you all is The Church at Prayer. This book is beautiful because it covers some topics that might be important to us, such as marriage, spiritual study, how do we study spiritually the scriptures or the fathers, as well as our relations with our neighbors and with our community at large. And just to show you very briefly, although Elder Emilianos has not yet been canonized, we do have a depiction of him here as an icon, and you can see it's not Saint Emilianos, but rather it's Elder Emilianos, and he does not have the halo yet depicted, because officially he has not been canonized by the church, but God willing, one day he will be. And as you saw the icon, I will show you very briefly also a picture of him. Sometimes we don't have real pictures of saints, although he's not a saint. Yeah, God, I'm sure, God willing, one day he will be. And so that's a little bit about Geronda, who helped rebuild and restructure and repopulate the monastery of Simonopetra on Manathos, which is now a very thriving monastic community that's very, in a sense, believe it or not, very family oriented, very beautiful. It sits like a jewel upon a rock in overall the peninsula. Anyway, so that's Elder Emilianos. If you ever have an opportunity, Google him, research him. Maybe I'll post a couple of links to a few other videos that speak about specifically his life. The second thing is, today we celebrate Mother's Day, and how can we forget the most important motherly figure in our church, which is, of course, the Panagia herself. I hope that you can see a clear shot of her there. When Christ was on the cross, and we actually read this during Holy Week, when Christ was on the cross, as he was crucified, and right before his death, he turns to his disciple, St. John, who was present at the cross, and his mother, who's also there, and he says to his mother, he says, "Mother, behold your son," in reference to St. John. And then to St. John, he says, "Son, behold your mother," in reference to the Theotokos. And here Christ is alluding or showing to us the importance of the mother for all Orthodox Christians. She is the mother of all Christians. And what happened to the mother physically in her womb when she carried Christ for 9 months and then delivered him, and then although she didn't experience the same types of pains, she did experience the pain of losing a child. So there are many respects in which we can connect with, whether male or female, with our Holy Mother. And whatever happened to the mother physically, some saints say, and some of the fathers say, whatever happened to her physically must happen to all Orthodox Christians spiritually. Well, we don't physically bear Christ within our womb, whether if we're a male, for example, we can bear Christ within our hearts and carry him there and birth him so that other people may experience Christ throughout the world as well. But anyway, so that's just a small thing. But I wanted to wish all those mothers and children, if you're watching, to please go ahead and either call if you're not close, or if you are close, wish your mothers a blessed Mother's Day, for they endured a lot for you while you all were babies, while we were babies at some point as well. I only know that from personal experience, as my wife and I are slowly and patiently enduring as best as we're able to with our own child, and not enduring in the negative sense, but being patient as we help a child grow from a small baby all the way to an adult. And that's something that's beautiful, in particular, I believe, only to human beings. Most animals, as soon as they're born, are able to walk or run as quickly as possible because nature demands it. While, however, the baby, as soon as it's born, is completely dependent on the mother and father for nourishment, for support, for shelter, for comfort, for love. And this is something that I think is very beautiful, because it draws us, the parents, away from themselves and draws us, our focus, to the children. Anyway, God bless you all. Happy Mother's Day. When you do get a chance, please look up Elder Milanos, whose funeral was done a whole year ago. And I wish you all the best and strength this week. Christos Anesti, Alithos Anesti. Bye-bye.